Hey, Caitlin. We are back. Happy Great Pumpkin to you, coming up here soon.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's our drink, the Great Pumpkin, which we'll figure out what that is in a minute. But,
It's a flip.
oh my goodness. Oh,
Yes.
right, because anytime after Labor Day, is it after Labor Day or after fall officially
I think it's
starts?
like the fall equinox. You should
Okay,
put a
so
full egg in any cocktail and have a flip. Yum.
I did have one
It's
the
like the
other
idea
day.
of it. The idea of it
I know, it
is
just makes you
it's
gag.
icky, but then you drink it and you're like, this is so delicious.
Yeah, I had one. I know, stop.
I'm
I
sorry.
had something that it wasn't called a flip, but it was something, I don't even remember what it was, but it had a whole egg in it. And
Then
it
it's
was
a
just,
flip.
it was just super
It's like
frothy.
it's like automatically a flip if it
Oh,
has a whole
okay.
egg in it.
All
It's
right.
like a sour or you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
yeah.
So it doesn't have to be like called a Great Pumpkin flip. It's just is a flip.
No.
It's
No, it's a
assumed.
flip. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I
Yep.
had one then. They didn't, I don't remember what it was, but it was foamy and purple. So it was really good.
Purple.
Yeah, it had some creme de violette in it of some sort. I don't know. Now I want to do an
Also,
aviation as a flip. No? Maybe not? All right.
I don't know.
I'll try it and let
I
you
don't
know.
know. I don't know how, so like because to me a flip is like it's like got the warming spices, so like a spiced rum or like a
Ooh.
bourbon, you know what I mean? So like I don't know how I feel about like a
We
gin flip.
have, so with the Bartesian that
Yeah.
we have, there's one of the pods is holiday spiced margarita. So it's got like the allspice and some of those holiday spices in it, but it's got tequila.
I don't
I don't know. A
know.
tequila flip sounds weird too.
Here's the thing, like pumpkin drinks in general veer very quickly into like Pinterest fails. Like my mom had
Oh.
pumpkin spice wine from some like
Oh no, that sounds
weird,
terrible.
awful,
Why?
right?
Oh, God.
And I'm like, why are you drinking that? And she's like, well, it was included. They like subscribe to some wine, like
Oh,
North Carolina winery or something, South Carolina. I don't know. It's not great.
okay.
It's not great.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
yeah.
I'm feeling Moira Rose here. Um,
It's Herbert Linger's fruit wine,
yep. There
100%.
we go. There
And
we go.
every time I see the bottles, I'm like, it's fruit
Oh.
wine. Herbert
Okay, so
Linger's fruit
I have
wine.
another
Anyway,
one. There's
okay,
also a gingerbread martini
okay.
that you can do with gin or vodka.
Then why wouldn't you just drink eggnog?
Oh, I don't like eggnog.
Mm-mm.
It's too creamy
Oh,
and
it's
heavy.
so good.
All right, so this is our
So
Halloween
good.
episode, which is why we're talking about the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah. I did. I busted out the red wine finally. We went to like a yard party
Okay.
outside on Sunday, and I had a really nice Cabernet. It was
Ooh.
delightful. Oh my gosh,
Um,
delightful, delicious and
Archie's
delightful.
Archie's and Lamar's. So Archie's and Lamar's had a cab made in Paso that
Yeah.
is for their 75th anniversary. It's got the original
Oh.
steer
Mm-hmm.
on it and the original
Mm-hmm.
logo. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I bought two when we were there. Because each person could take home 2 bottles of wine, and it's
Oh.
cheaper than the menu price because they don't open it and all
Yeah.
that. But they were $75 each for the 75th anniversary, and I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a great cab. Like I have two here, and I'm gonna drink them by myself because Brian's not here. So,
No one else can have the Cabernet.
yeah.
I love a flip, okay? I love not knowing what's in the flip and then drinking it. But
Okay, well,
I
let's
can't see the egg.
get to the flip in a minute, but first we have
Yes.
to talk about, like, this is our Halloween special, so we're going to do spooky, horrifying things, Caitlin.
Ooh.
Red flags that you should watch out for when you select an agency.
Don't go in there.
Um,
You'll never come out alive.
Exactly. Do you know where your marketing is?
Oh my god. Now I'm picturing
So
like like the unmasking of all of the Scooby-Doo episodes. But I can't come up with a good enough metaphor on the spot.
oh, how
Like
about
you take the mask off.
you take
and
the
it's
mask
really
off your
just like...
graphic designer and it's Canva. So All right. Fair enough. So
It's just Canva templates.
now
Sorry.
I made Caitlin laugh too much. The this great
No such
pumpkin
thing.
came from New York City, a bar called PDT. Jim Meehan is the bartender who crafted it. He does a lot with autumn flavors and finding the perfect fall cocktail, and I guess it's kind of what he's known for and they're known for.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get into it.
It's 2 ounces of pumpkin ale, like Southampton, 1 ounce of Laird's bonded apple brandy, 1 ounce of Rittenhouse bonded rye. I think we've got Rittenhouse at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Half an ounce of good maple syrup. That's another.
The real maple syrup. You got to get the good stuff. Better be from Canada or Vermont.
Yes. And a whole egg. And then you garnish with some freshly grated nutmeg. And I got to tell you, there is nothing so good as a little nutmeg on a rasp. All right, so you're going to add the pumpkin ale, apple brandy, rye, maple syrup, and the whole egg into a shaker. Not the whole, like crack it. Just the inside of the egg, not a whole egg. I feel like
it's
worth
true.
Specifying.
Yeah.
Right? Just throw the
That'll be our first call and they'll want a cocktail
shells
book.
and all.
I put
You
the whole
lied
egg
to
in.
me. I put the whole egg in and it was too crunchy. So you're going to...
Edit 2 of the cocktail book will now specify put the contents of the whole egg in, not the shell.
Crack a whole egg.
All right.
Pumpkin ale, apple brandy, rye, maple syrup, and the egg, yolk, and white into a shaker and dry shake. So that's just all of that stuff in the shaker with nothing else. Vigorously. And the original recipe says to shake the pumpkin ale as well, but we know not to necessarily shake fizzy things, right? So you shake.
Be careful if you do,
shake.
I guess.
Yeah, don't explode it. And then you can add the ice and shake again until well chilled. So what you're trying to do here is just emulsify the egg yolk, the egg white, and all of the rest of that into what becomes like a very a full body, like very creamy and rich cocktail, and then the ice at the end to chill. And then you can strain into a chilled fizz glass. What's a fizz glass? Am I dumb?
I don't know what a fizz glass is. I guess we'll have to reference the
I'm gonna Google it. Fizz
and people
glass.
listening can just reference the art for the podcast because that's always the glass. Including that rose petal glass. We actually nailed that one too. Megan nailed that one. I didn't have anything to do with that design.
Oh, allow the cookies.
What?
Drink specific glassware, fizz glass. It's like a Collins glass, but I think it has something specific. I don't know.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, fizz glass, whatever that is.
Yeah. If you know, call us and let us know. And then you can garnish the top of that with that freshly grated nutmeg. So you're gonna get like a really nice head on the top. That's that full body, like foam, cream deliciousness, and then just your little nutmeg right on top, and then cheers.
Yep.
That's a great pumpkin flip. It's
Great
flipping
pumpkin.
great.
It's jeez. Wow, the puns are rich today. Last week we had good puns. We got puns today too.
Much like a flip, quite rich.
Much like me, I'm quite rich. It's my name.
You are quite rich, but
all right.
You know.
With that, I could use a party break and party.
And maybe
I said
a
with
break
an R.
for me.
And maybe just a short break to let Caitlin calm down a little bit.
She needs to mellow out. Not today, folks. Not today.
She's going to come back after the break the exact same way she is right now. But let's take a break, and we'll see you back with Agency Red Flags.
I have become...
Hey, Caitlin. How are you?
Well, I'm in the haunted house that's full of fruit flies because we have some little fungus gnats that live in the office, and I was just saying I think they've gotten slower as the weather has gotten cooler.
Could be.
Because I have been on a killing rampage.
Did you guys plug in those Zevo traps?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
They should start to fill up pretty fast. Ours is working great here, and they don't smell or anything.
No, they're really nice.
Well, if you need more, let me know, because maybe we need one in that room.
Maybe.
All right.
maybe not a bad
Agency
idea.
red flags. If your agency has too many bugs, that is a red flag.
It's not a red flag. It means they love plants.
Yeah, it's just, and you get one plant that has those little gnats in it, and then suddenly it's just everywhere.
It's an infestation. Yes.
Yeah, so we're taking care of that though.
Well,
yeah,
shall we talk about the first red flag?
Yeah, we did.
It's still a red flag.
It is. We did this. One of our very first episodes, I think, was agency red flag, something in the early ones. So there's a couple of these that we're revisiting because we just still think these are relevant.
They still are true, yes.
And we've got a few new ones that we didn't cover in that. So, yeah, first one. You want to do the honors, Caitlin?
I do. Guaranteed metrics or results.
I can guarantee you the first result on Google. No one can guarantee that. Google can't even guarantee you that.
No. And they should. That's... No.
Overpromising is the worst red flag for everybody. You're going to end up in a horrible relationship. I don't know why agencies do this. Well, I do. So there are groups of agencies, a lot of SEO places and people who do things like that, who are churn and burn, right? They just want to promise you something, get your money for 3 months, and then they know you're going to fire them, and they're going to just keep doing that and repeat it. And it's on volume that they make it all up. You don't want an agency like that. You don't want a partner like that.
No. It stresses me out. I also just think about their client acquisition costs must be through the roof.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
ugh.
It just, it blows me away. Marketing is art and science. It's the combination of the two. And nothing is, honestly, with science, nothing is necessarily guaranteed because science learns from itself, right? And changes and adapts. We do the same thing. And what worked last week may not work again next week.
Yeah.
I had a Facebook campaign that was going like gangbusters, and the client was just making money hand over fist. And Facebook made a change to their targeting, and it all fell apart in 30 days. And took almost a year to recover from that, which is wild. But we shifted money into other platforms because that platform wouldn't work for us. So should they be able to estimate things for you? Yes. They should be able to give you some goals. They should be able to say, here's how many impressions we think you'll get. Here's how many clicks that should be. But they can't guarantee it.
Right.
No one can guarantee anything. If they could, if any agency could, the rest of us would just not be in business. Everybody would work with them.
Yeah.
So that word, I guaranteed, run away. Run away,
get your money back. And also, I think the other thing that frustrates me as somebody who has had to come back from or help clients come back from those types of guarantees.
Oh, yeah.
It makes people so skittish. It makes our clients say we had one a couple weeks ago. We kicked off a new website, and they were he said, "Thank you so much for listening to us." And not just spewing. And I was like, "Who have you been working?" I was like, "I'm so sorry." And we were remote, so I couldn't pat him on the back.
I know you
wanted
to give some hugs.
But I was like, that's so awful. It just I don't know.
Yeah, and we've had
way.
the same ones who are like, "Oh, Google Ads doesn't work for us." Well, maybe the way you were doing Google Ads didn't work for you. And sometimes it's okay, can you show me the campaigns? Can you give me access to view only so I can see what you were doing? And maybe I can tell you why it wasn't working. But yeah, so guarantees, big red X.
It's a bad one. It's a real bad one.
But you do want metrics, right? You want to have goals, you want to have metrics.
However, don't only focus on vanity metrics.
And this is something, and as a CEO, and as somebody who has run marketing departments, this is something that a lot of senior leadership falls to. They like the vanity metrics because... well,
it's like warm fuzzies, right?
How many followers do I have? How many impressions did we get?
I will say, sometimes impressions can be helpful, right? Depending on what your goal is.
Right, but it's secondary.
If awareness is,
The closer you are to the moment of sale, the more important the metric is. So your cart conversions or your form conversions are more important than your clicks or your impressions. Not that clicks and impressions aren't important, because that fuels the formula, right? You've got a certain number of impressions, which is generally what you're buying. You're going to get a certain number of clicks from that. So the percentage matters. But of those clicks, you know, as you get to who fills out a form, more important, who filled out the form actually buys. Now I've got ROI.
Yep.
I care about selling, making money, keeping the business open and growing. And so if they're not giving you metrics that lead to your ROI, whatever's important to you, I mean, and it could be foot traffic, right? If you're a retail location, it could be that foot traffic is a good predictor of sales. So that might be not a vanity metric, but a good secondary metric, like a click or something.
Yeah.
The other one that's used a lot.
Say that again. The closer you are to the
moment of sale, the more important the metric is.
So good.
So, and you think about retail and like e-commerce and shopping cart, right? So like there's viewed product, don't care. I mean, I do care because I can retarget you and stuff, but there's added to cart. Okay. Like, but I literally have 200 things in my Amazon cart right now. They're saved for later.
Oh my God.
It's my shopping list. It's my wish list. And sometimes I'll go in there and there'll be like 10 things in the actual cart. And I've got to do like either save for later or delete to buy like the chips that I want to buy today, but I don't want everything else that's in my cart. Cause like it'll be your cart is $2,000. And I'm like, I was just buying Pringles. But so add to cart is another one. That's a good indicator. But then you've also got like went to the checkout page, right? Because from the cart, you've got to click checkout.
Yeah.
Then you've got input your credit card info and finally finish the sale. And then you've got, of course, didn't return on that other end of the flywheel. Yeah. Didn't return the item, I guess. So the other one that's a really good one that's really interesting, and it takes your top level spend and your bottom level revenue and puts them together, is called ROAS, return on ad spend.
ROAS. It sounds like an exotic vacation destination.
I always think that it's Rouse tomato sauce, like they're the Rouse, like they make the really good pasta sauces, but it's ROAS. And that's actually a really good one to look at. It's going to be a really good indicator of where you're at. The other one would be your multiple. So like, are you at 5x, 6x your spend to revenue, which is usually how. Thank you.
I was like, multiple of what?
ROAS is calculated. So if I spend $1,000 and it results in $3,000 of sales, that's a 3x. Okay. So you're not looking at your overhead. Sure. Okay, you're not looking at other things. You're really just looking at gross sales and gross ad spend.
That makes sense.
So those are some good ones that we really like. E-commerce loves the ROAS one because if I'm getting a 10-time return on my ad spend and I know that my margin is 60%, I'm good. I'm absolutely good. Anything higher than 4 is going to be great for me.
Yeah. At some point, just the metrics behind business fascinate me. Because like you think that it's just like money in, money out, but really there are all of these ways. I know, right?
I wish.
I thought it was money in, money out, right? But there's all this other stuff that you have to kind of take into consideration.
Layers. You can have my job then if you are passionate about it.
I don't want it. No, thank you.
All right. Well, then maybe not. This next one can be a little bit controversial, and I get where it's at, and we're going to talk through it.
I get touchy about this one.
So ownership of your ad accounts. So your Google ads, your Facebook ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads, who owns those ad accounts? Facebook's best practice is for you to create the ad account from the client business manager, and then you can add the agency as a partner. The thing I like about that with Facebook is when the agency has their payment methods, if you disconnect them as a partner, those payment methods also get disconnected. So, yes. So there's not that risk. Now, the other issue that people have is who has access to mess with stuff? Because if we're going to be held accountable and we're in there optimizing, you can't also go in and optimize without telling us what you're doing. And so you have to have a lot of trust there.
This is why I get nervous about this one. And it just...
And
Makes me
truthfully,
nervous.
we have clients both ways. Our rule with Google has been, because Google, it's been very hard to extract your payment method. You can get the account turned over, but the payment method, it's like almost impossible. They've changed that now. So there's actually literally a link where it's like, change who pays, and you can transfer it to your client's account manager. So that's lovely. Finally, you used to have to do a support ticket. It was a nightmare. It was a mess. But our rule with Google has always been, if the client wants to own the ad account, totally fine. But the client has to use their payment method. We won't put our credit card in there. We won't link it to our bank account, that type of thing. Now, if you're over $5,000 a month, you can do invoicing, and that makes it a little bit easier. Because it becomes who the invoices go to. But that's where that can be a little bit tricky. But yeah, if you don't want them to own, or if you don't want to own your own ad accounts, because we have clients who are like, please just create it for me. I don't want to own it.
Just do it for me. Yep.
Totally fine. Just ask them if they've got a process for how that would transfer to you, 50 years from now when the relationship changes, or whatever. There should always be clear transparency on what you own, what you don't own, and what you get and what you don't get. So that's the big one there. And if they don't have answers to those, red flag, big red flag. And you're also going to have trust issues, and you really need to have that trust. But it goes both ways.
I think, kind of goes to the next one, right? If you don't have transparency in how your agency is reporting or what the performance metrics are, if they're hesitant to share detailed reports, you might want to check under the hood.
Yeah, if they're just giving you like green arrow up and to the right is your report. Okay, that's great, but what does that mean? And different people,
it's spooky.
I know. Different clients always want different things in their reports. Ideally, you go back to those true metrics. You'll get the vanity metrics in the report too. Like, that's how many followers do we have? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, because that is still like, that still can be indicative of like where to go, but it's not the like meat.
It's not the number one thing you should see, but it does tell you if your social accounts are growing, if your mailing list is growing. Those are important. But what you've also got to get on there is, what have we made from that? And if people are leaving, like, why? My biggest thing with reporting is, I want the so what. Like,
I think about this every time.
Don't just tell me what happened. Like, I can go look at a dashboard and see what happened. I'm pretty smart about that. But I'm not in there every day. So what? Why did it happen? What can we do about it? And if you're not getting any details at all, you're never going to get to the so what, and you're never going to fix anything that's wrong. Like, I loved when an agency would come and say, back when I was on the client side, and they would be like, hey, so this sucked and really tanked and didn't work, and here's what we think happened, and here's how we're going to correct it moving forward. But we're just going to give it one more month, and if it's still not working after that, it might just not work for you guys, and we're going to shift that budget into something else. Great. Love it. Sounds fantastic. Anyone who can admit they're wrong, own that, and give you, or even just admit that something didn't go right, own it, and give you a solution and a reason all day, every day. I'll take employees like that. I'll take clients like that. I'll hire agencies like that if I'm a client.
Well, and there is something in that humility too. Like, that's a tough thing to admit, right? Because especially when in this, like, I don't know, kind of fluid or cutthroat's maybe a little bit too intense, but to say like, we screwed up, or this isn't working the way we thought it was going to, takes a lot of confidence and humility to own up to that.
And I think, like, I only get upset when somebody's like, well, it failed. Like, well, what? Okay. Like, and they're like, I have no idea why. And it's like, so I will tell you, there have been moments though when I've seen something fail, and it's like, everything where I'm looking at says this should be working. I do not know why it's not working. But for the most part, you can look at things and go, yeah, this isn't going to work. Like, it's going too broad. Like when Google display ads started really just spam coming in from those everywhere. you go in and you're like, oh, they've added new partners to their network that are broader, that are lower quality. Like, we're also, and also more impressions. You get tons of impressions with that, and it's just going to result in more spam. But we can move that budget somewhere else. We can refocus the budget to not be as broad. There's all kinds of things you can do. So yeah, but you don't know it. Like, and same thing, like there was a time when I had more credit card debt than I was making in a year, and I just didn't face it. I didn't look at it.
Yeah.
When I finally sat down with, it was a credit, it was a reputable, like, clean up your credit kind of company. And they were like, okay, so like, here's where it's at, and here's where you're at, and it's going to take you 600 years to pay this off. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, so we can give you this loan that was like, it was like 40 grand. It was a lot of money. And I was in my 20s. But you have to cut up all but one credit card. And we're going to call all of those companies and try to reverse some of the interest from the past year to lower the amount. We're going to basically negotiate a settlement, roll that into a loan for you, and get it going. But again, if I hadn't looked at the reality, the really, really bad reality of the situation, I couldn't have solved it. I couldn't have sought help. Same thing with reporting. If something sucks really badly, if you don't know it and don't talk about it, you're never going to fix it. Or like SEO, start now.
Or therapy.
It is.
Let us do therapy for your marketing.
Yeah, it's a very good way to do it.
Right.
Which gets me into the last one, which also is a good red flag for getting a therapist. Gut check. Yeah. What's the vibe? Are you vibing? Are you not vibing? Does something just feel gross about them? Do they just you just feel like maybe they're bullshitting you a lot, or they just aren't really genuine?
Or on the converse, right? Did they say, "Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to me"? Yeah, and you feel really good about the direction of the conversation and what they're saying and how they're saying it.
And
right?
we use this both ways, right? Like, so people should be doing this for us, but we do this with clients too, because we don't want to get the icks from a client. I mean, if you've got a huge budget, then maybe we'll survive for a little while, but not really. Like, it's not going to be good. We're going to work really closely. We're going to spend a lot of time together. You've got to trust us. We've got to trust you. And if it just, you're not feeling it, then fine. Like, my big thing is, do I want to go have a drink with these people outside of work when I'm not getting paid? If you weren't giving me money to do things for you, would I hang out with you? And most of our clients are a yes on that one. And we have actually, like, we do lunches, we get drinks when we're at conferences, we have dinners. All of those things. We have open houses and we invite them. If we ever had a client and we're like, oh, we're doing an open house and I just don't want to invite them, it would be a conversation we need to have about whether we should have that client or not. Same thing with your agency. If you don't want to hang out with them, you don't want to talk to them daily, if you're going to always read their emails as a negative, bitchy tone, because email doesn't have tone, it's words on a page. We interpret that ourselves. You really want to be able to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume, even when tough conversations are happening, that they have your best interest at heart. And if
I will say, we're very fun to hang out with, and I can't lie for shit. So,
but
if that gives you any indication of whether or not you should hire us.
I think on the converse of that, though, like, if you're a very, buttoned up, like
that's
formal, stoic kind of company culture, that's probably not going to vibe with us. Even like our financial clients do business casual, and they're like, Midwestern normal people, like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So just make sure that fits there. And if everything else is fine and your gut just says no, trust it. Just trust it.
Yeah.
I mean, and if your gut says yes, I would go back around to some of these others. If you're feeling some small red flags, talk about them, address them. If the agency can talk about them and explain them and talk about their process, you're probably okay.
Yeah.
If they sidestep.
Guys, it's more therapy.
It is.
That's it.
It is.
Yeah.
All right. So,
moral of this episode: go to therapy. Is that not it?
I think that's.
Did I miss the boat?
I think it's. hiring an agency is a big deal, and you should really think about it. And if they're guaranteeing you stuff, red flag. If they only want to focus on vanity metrics, red flag, because they're not committing to your ROI then. If they want to have a conversation about you about how ownership of ad accounts works and a transition process, if they own the accounts for you, and how they set it up if you own the accounts for them. If they don't have any of that or won't talk about it, it's a red flag.
Okay.
High level reporting that means nothing, red flag. Ask them for a sample report. We have sample reports for ourselves that we can send to people. That's always a good one to do. And then gut check. If you don't get a good gut check,
absolutely
walk away. All right. Another episode in the can. Well, once Zach does his editing and adds the music and all of that.